Yo, what's cracking YouTube? Andrew from PoshDesigns here, and today I'm coming at you guys with a quick tutorial video on how to make a background here in 2017 in Photoshop. Now, there is a ton of these videos out there, so for whatever reason that you stumbled upon my video, thanks for showing up, and let's just hop right into it, guys. So if you guys open up the description box here real quick, you guys are going to find all the stuff that I used in this video, except for the type of font I use. I'm using Typography Pro in this video. That's just a font that I widely use across all platforms, just because it looks really good and there's different variations of that. So if you open up the description box, you'll get this. It says Tools for Video, and there should be a Crack Nature Tiger JPEG file in there, and then it should have an It's Lit PSD. Now if you double click on that PSD, it's going to open up this, and I have already done the due diligence for you guys of making you guys kind of a nice little white bar here with your social media plugs. So you guys can plug in any social media that you guys have here, and this is really good because of course you want your clientele and your viewers and your followers and your friends and homies to be able to follow you wherever you guys are at. So social media kills the game in this age of day, so it's nice. So let's go ahead and get really started in this. As you guys saw from the beginning of the video, that's what we're going to be making. I'm going to try to recreate it as best as I did in this video. So without further ado, guys, let's just get started. So if we come in here in Photoshop and I click on my background file and I go over here to my paint can and I hold down, it's going to pop up my gradient. Now I'm going to make a dark gray to a light gray in the center gradient. So to do this, we're going to come in here. I'm going to have my left color be more of the lighter gray and this right color be more of a darker gray. So you guys can choose whatever colors you guys want to work with. I just like gray. I think it's a good neutral color, and I think it makes any project look clean. So after I come in here, I'm going to click the radial button up top left here, and then I'm just going to bring it into the background. I'm going to hold down my shift button, and then I'm going to bring it out to the edge. Now as you see right here, there's kind of a lighter gray here and a darker gray on the outer sides. Really, we're not even going to be using this background because as you guys saw from the photo, it's all covered in pictures. So yeah. Anyway, what we can do is start on our actual text. Now, the text file is going to be honestly your most difficult part. So just follow along on this. The rest is a piece of cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my text tool. I'm going to find whatever font I want to work with. Now, I'm going to be using a more blocky text just because of the fact that that's what I like. I like something that's very eligible, that's very catchy, and then just stands out really. So I use this font called Typography Pro. If you look up here on all the types, it has everything from ultralight all the way to extra bold, and it has about 4 different variations. So it's really good font. I would definitely recommend buying it and trying it out. You guys can find that anywhere on the internet. Just type in Typography Pro text file, and yeah. So as you guys see, of course, also one thing that I did not state before this video is I am on a Mac, so sorry for some of the shortcuts that I shout out. They might not match up to your keyboard. So I'm going to select the extra bold, and I'm going to lay down my foundation, which is just my company's name, which is Posh. And I'm going to Command A, and I'm going to turn that font actually white for now. It's just a little bit easier for me to see. And then what I want to do is I want to come up here to the, obviously, size tool, and I want to pick out a certain size of text that I want to work with. So this is pretty good. You can also Command T and do it that way. However, I'm going to put it right there. And then if I select this actually with Command A, I can actually come up here, and sorry, let me come up here to the top right, and if you go to typography, that'll pull up all the tools for that. And if I select this Posh, I can actually spread out these letters, which you're only going to want to do on the Posh, because I'm not spreading anything else out. And this is only to space these, because we're actually going to be combining this Posh to make almost like a logo text. So this is going to be very unique and one of a kind. It's not going to be seen anywhere else. You guys have this logo with your name, and that's it. So it's not out there for anyone else to use. So if I come in here, and this Posh needs to actually be rasterized. When you rasterize a type, it makes it editable and makes you able to kind of manipulate whatever file you're using. So if I right click on the Posh and rasterize type, it'll then allow me to be able to select this selection tool, and I can actually just highlight this part, and if I just go up to our move tool, then it will actually move. So check that out. So if I just take this O and I move it on over to right about there, and if you see where this arc kind of comes in and then it meets this arc, that's where you kind of want it to be. Now what I did in the sample photo is I actually changed the colors of each individual letter. So that's what we're going to do in here. So if I hold down my gradient and I go back to my paint bucket tool, I can now pick the next color that I want. So I'm going to keep the P white. I like it white, and I'm just going to pick a different color. I think I did a blue in my sample, so we'll just do a variation of that, and we'll just fill that in. And then if you hit Command D, that'll actually deselect that now. So now what we can do is we can select our S the same way we did the O and bring that in as well. And what color should we make this one? I think I'm going to go with like a green. We'll go with a green. So we come down here, let's go ahead and find a green. That'll do. We'll fill that in, Command D again. And then again with the H, what I did is I then actually made the H kind of more customized, because really what this is just overlapping letters now, so it's not really even that customizable. So I'm actually going to customize this. Now to get this H, as we see, it's going to be in front of our letters. We actually want this H behind, and you guys will see why here in just a minute. But to do that, all we need to do is have the H selected, hit Command C, then we can deselect, make a new layer, hit Command V, and there we go. We have another H. So we can actually get rid of this H, and before we do that, I would recommend getting this H paired up. There we go. Cool. So now we can actually get rid of this H, delete, and now we can mess around with this one. So if we bring this back and I take this layer one under the Posh, you'll see that this is actually behind the Posh now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my arrow keys and figure out a good spot for this. Now if I zoom in here and we figure out a good spot, it's right about there. Now what we can do is we can actually do the customization. So what I'm going to do is something really simple. I'm going to take my eraser tool initially, and get rid of this part right here. I don't like how it shows that. We don't need it right there. So what we also want to do is get rid of some of this. So I'm actually going to just take my eraser tool and get rid of most of it. And then what I do from here is I actually take my pen tool, sorry, not my pen tool, but my path tool, and I'm going to recreate the S's arc just like so. So if I do that, and I just bring this around, and I right click and I say make selection, it'll actually make that selection, and we can just delete that now. So now we have a more customized logo, which looks really cool. And so if we zoom back out, this is what we have so far. And now I can actually take that layer one, right click, blending options, and do a color overlay, and I can actually pick a new color. So I'm going to go with, let's say, a purple. Or you know what? Let's do like a pink. That looks better. Cool. So if I do that pink, and then I'm going to come in also here while I'm here and add a drop shadow to this H. My drop shadows, anytime it's on text, will be either a 1 or 2 distance. The spread I usually will try to do either a 5 to a 10, and the size will do a 20. Let's do a 15. Cool. So if we take that and we do that same drop shadow onto the Posh, it'll give us that more depth of look that we're looking for. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Perfect. So now that I've done that, I have my company's name. So I want to get this all centered up, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 layers and I'm going to Command E. And then I'm going to take this and hit Command, and I'm going to click on the background. Now when I do that, that actually puts up these buttons up here, these 6 buttons, where you can maneuver the text wherever you want. So I'm going to hit there, and that centers it on the horizontal, and this is on your vertical. So now that's all centered up, I'm going to bring that back up, put it right about there. And then we want to put in, of course, if you have like a second part of your name, that's where you want to include it. So I'm going to put my designs here. We'll just make that a white. And then we want to bring down the size. And what I do is I always have this designs be as big as the Posh. So right about there, that'll work. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. I'm going to put a drop shadow on there as well. Perfect. So now we have a little bit more depth and it looks a little bit more clean. Now what we can do is we can just highlight both the designs in Posh and Command E. That'll combine them all together. So now if I disappear this, it will all be together. You can also hit Command G and that'll make it a group. So you can still edit it. So I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to call this a logo. So now that we have our logo, and let's go ahead and center that up. Okay, just like that. Perfect. And sorry if you guys can hear my mouse and my keyboard. That's my apologies. Okay, so what we want to do here from here is just make a cool background that's going to pop. So what I did is I made some shapes. So I've included this blue line right down the middle, and that's actually the middle of your screen. So you can actually use this to just mirror over a shape after you make the shape. And I know that might sound confusing, but you guys will see what we're talking about here in just one moment. So if I go ahead and make here a new layer, and I take my pen tool, and I just make it a simple design. So let's say I just want it to be from, I don't know, let's say here to here, and then bring it in the middle. Make sure you make it to the middle. Okay, and we'll go up, and we will just right click, say fill path. Let's go color, and you know what, sure, this light gray will work. We'll hit OK and OK, and it's gonna make this like shape. So this shape now, if we just hit Command J, it's gonna make that same shape, and we can actually hit Command T and just flip it. We'll just flip it and bring it in the middle, and there you go. You have the same shape, you have the same size of platform that you guys were working with. So now what I did here is I went Command and I clicked on both of those files and I did Command E. So that made it one file. So now I have one background. And then what I did is if you open up that tools for videos that I gave you guys and you click on this nature pick, you guys can actually just bring this into Photoshop. And then one really cool trick is if you hit Option on your keyboard and hover in between layers, it'll actually bring up this little square with an arrow pointing down. If you click, it'll actually just mask it right there to the shape. So it's already masked. You don't have to do anything except just position it where you want. So if I position this, hit Command T. All right, we can make this a little bit smaller. Cool. And then I just put it like right there. That looks pretty cool. So we just hit enter and boom, we already have something going right there. So what I did from here is I just made another shape on the outskirts of this image. So we just do literally the same thing. And what I do always whenever I do any shapes with masking an image on it, I just Command G that. So now we can have that as one group. Then what I did is made a new layer, and I did literally the same thing. So I took my pen tool and I just made another shape. So let's go, let's do this to, let's say, I don't know, here, and we'll have it go down. Cool. Then what I did is I just brought it all together like that. Right click, fill path. The same thing, hit OK, right click, delete path. And you can literally take that same thing and just Control J, Control T, flip it horizontally, and just bring it on over. That easy. Right about there. And then right here, for some reason, I don't know what inspired really the tiger, but I brought in a tiger. So I thought the tiger would look really cool. So I included a tiger. I don't know why. All we have to do now is just mask this over it. So remember, Option, boom, layered over. Looks good. I'm going to bring the tiger a little bit more in. Cool. And then what I did with this is actually combine that, and I just Control J. Flipped it horizontally and brought it over. Right about there. We'll just drop it right there. That looks good enough. And then literally, people, all I did was bring in this image right here, the crack. Brought that in. I transformed it, made it smaller, brought it over here, and just laid it right there. I then Control J, Control T, right click, flip horizontally, and move it on over. This background was that easy to make in that little of a time. And then what I did also is I went onto these tiger pics and I right clicked, blending options, and do like a little drop shadow. The drop shadow does look clean. I did make my angle at 90 degrees. And then, oops, sorry. And then from there, I did make it a 15 by 20. I did do that. And a really easy way to get that right back onto the left side is right click, copy layer style, copy layer style right here, and just click on the other tiger copy. Right click, paste layer style. Now you have a shadow over there as well. And then I'm also going to do that onto this group 2 right here. Boom. So now we have some shadows and some stuff to play around with, and then we can also add it right onto here. Alright guys, so now our game is looking good. I'm not even going to put my social media in there because you guys clearly know PoshDesigns, or added your guys' social medias in there. But yeah, guys, that's how I would make a new YouTube background. This is a little more easy for you beginners, but also looks really cool for even people who have been around for a long time. I've been doing graphics since I was 14 years old, and I'm 22 years old now, and this still looks really cool to me. I think that this looks great, and I think that this would be good for any channel. You can literally use this for anything. This looks like I'm a Natural Geographic channel, and I'm a graphic channel. So it looks awesome, guys, and it would work for any channel, and I think it just looks really clean and nice. So if this video did help you guys out, it would mean a ton to me if you guys could just take 2 seconds out of your day, smash that like button, drop a comment saying thanks, or hey, this sucked, and let me know what I could do better even. So it'd be cool if you guys could do that. But anyways, other than that, guys, this is a tutorial on how to make a background here in 2017, and I'm signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.